Ladies, gentlemen, boys, and girls, can you all do me a favor and let me know if my audio is working? Because we all have trust issues with my microphone lately, don't we? Sometimes I come on here and it's working. Sometimes I come on here and it's not working. So let me know if the audio is working. While you guys and girls let me know that, I want to mix it up a little bit today. I would love questions about any of these topics or any similar topics that are maybe a little bit different from some of the questions we've done for the last, it's been like 27 days now. So I'd love some questions on business. If you guys have any questions on business or making money, maybe a little bit of BDSM, relationships, maybe mindset, peace, love, hobbies, tantra, kink, any of that sort of stuff. Yeah, let's mix it up. Ask me different questions. Expert sheet clapper says Andy's getting tired of my weird questions. No, if I was, I would tell you. I'm always going to be autistically honest, and you can ask whatever questions you want. If I was ever not wanting to answer questions, I'd just tell you that. I'd go, I don't want to answer this question, which I think I might have said that on a couple of questions already over the last like 27 days. So no, I'll never get annoyed at any of you. I certainly won't be passive aggressive about it and like not tell you. Here you go. Here's a good question. Phoenix. When you write on your partner's body, what do you usually write? I think I did a video about this, but I can't remember. So whatever they want, whatever would turn them on and whatever would turn me on. I think I mentioned this at some point recently on a live stream. Lots of women, ironically enough, very attractive women as well, feel insecure about their body. And so something that I've done with a couple of people, I've done this with Imi, I've done this with Bronwyn, we've done this with a few people, is if they're having some sort of body image issues or they're not feeling super attractive, I'll get them to write something like I am beautiful on their body, and I'll get them to take a picture for me. Most people that I've done that with really like that. In the moment, maybe you'd write something naughty, like you'd write daddy's girl or master's girl, or if they're into a little bit of the naughty words like slut, something like that. So whatever turns them on, whatever turns us on, write whatever you want, man. You can write Phoenix's girl, on one boob, write Phoenix's, and on the other, write girl. Whatever turns them on. You say, I see some body safe markers online. Do you use those? I think so. Yeah. I just bought them from a sex toy shop, like an adult shop. So they're probably those. A bunch of you saying Mortis, post these polygons. So guys, I don't know if Mortis was still here at the end of yesterday's stream because he didn't reply. So maybe he got really shy when all of us were trying to help him, or maybe he just wasn't here. But Mortis, if you are here, if you are listening, brother, we said yesterday, if you email me, andy@killyourinnerloser.com, one of your 3D model files, I will PayPal you $5. And then we can say you made some money. Because I know, Mortis, one of your frustrations was other people are making all this money from being a 3D modeler, from doing 3D models. I'm not making any money. And we all pointed out to you, it's because you're not really asking for money. So you didn't even ask, and I will voluntarily send you money to show you that your narrative that you can't make money is complete and utter horse shit. Brandon says, what's up, guys? Hello. The girl from the Amazing Debt responded. She apologized for taking so long and said she's just processing things. Yeah, so this is, I believe, the girl who said that she'd gone through some trauma in the past or something, or she felt like you guys had gone further than she wanted to go, I believe. So she's just processing things. I said, take as long as she wants, and she thanked me for my understanding. Yeah, what a beautiful moment, bro. No matter what happens from here, as we said to you the other day, you've handled this with grace, with compassion, with empathy. And that's all anyone can ever ask of you, dude. Like, you were literally trying your best. And I said this too. Sometimes in the vulnerable world of sexuality, sometimes people have a little bit of baggage, or they go a little bit further than they wanted to in the moment. And then afterwards, they're like, fuck, I don't know how I feel about that. Like, sex and intimacy and dating can come with a lot of vulnerability and a lot of emotionality. And your only mission is to do the best that you can. Try and be empathetic towards other people and especially towards yourself as well. And you've done that, man. You've done that. Do I have any insight on dating the friend of someone you're currently dating? Well, I've never done that. So not really. I don't know. Just handle it with the same empathy and compassion that you always do. The only thing I've come close to is I had a threesome with Emmy and her best friend, but that was only a one-time thing, so it's not really quite the same thing. But yeah, handle it the best you can and give yourself permission to suck at it. You don't have to be perfect. Phoenix, polygons for the polygod, vertices for the vertex terrain. Hell yeah, Mortis, send us that stuff. Framebite gave some pretty decent advice here, Brandon. Basically, it's not a big deal, man. It's so, and this is such a good general point. Stuff is only a big deal if you say that it is, you know? There's nothing wrong with dating friends of friends if you're honest and upfront and all of that, and everyone's on board and everyone's chill with it. Like Framebite saying, just fucking talk to it. Just be sociable. Just befriend people. Like, you really don't have to be perfect with this shit. Expert Cheek Clapper says, no questions coming to mind tonight, Andy, but I'm playing Pokemon right now and I named my rival after you. That's cool. Dr. Chad, you fucking hilarious motherfucker. Let's say you want to start a business selling 3D models. How do you start? Well, what I would advise is going on a Christmas live stream with a bunch of other people that are into self-improvement. And if you can find someone in the chat that's name is like Chad, or maybe someone called Phoenix, or someone called Rishav or something, maybe even a woman named Diane or something. And if you could get them to believe in you and motivate you and encourage you, and then maybe if there was some way to do this, you could see if the person doing the live stream would be willing, or anyone on the live stream would be willing to send you $5 for a 3D model. And then from that point, once you've made your $5, I would be asking a bunch of friends and family and saying, hey, I know you probably have no fucking use for a 3D model, but I'm trying to start this business. You'd really help me. Would you mind giving me $1 or whatever for one of my 3D models? A bunch of people would say yes because they love you, they believe in you. And so if you can get friends and family to give you some money, then getting strangers to give you money is not that much different. You might just have to talk to more strangers than friends and family. So go talk to more strangers. So Chad, beautiful hypothetical question there that I don't know if anyone in the chat can relate to. Maybe there's a guy whose name starts with M who might be able to relate to this question. And if he could, I would hope that that advice would help him. And I hope that he would take that advice and do what we've said there. Yeah, that'd be like great advice. So Phoenix, if you're asking a serious question like how do you start a business, literally what I just said. I have a video, I've done a few videos on my channel. Just search on my channel for like, actually there's a whole playlist on my channel. So go into my channel, click on the playlist button, go into the business / like financial abundance playlist, and I have videos on how to start a business. I've done multiple, but the easiest way is baby steps. Like you literally say to your friends and family, would you give me $1 if I did this for you? And because they love you, most of them will say yes. Congratulations, now you've started a side hustle. Then you go out and you do that with strangers. There are different ways to market and all of that, but that's a more advanced question. You're saying, how do you start? You start with a shitty product or service and you offer it to your friends and family for basically no money. Congrats, you've started. Same as like, how do you start going to the gym? You walk into the gym, you don't know anything. You pick up the lightest weight that you can see so you won't hurt yourself, and you just start doing random shit with it. And then over time, you get a workout plan, you get a meal plan, you start to figure out the machines. Maybe you take a buddy with you so you have a workout partner. You start putting in like meal prep and all of that stuff. So you just start by sucking and actually doing something. And then you slowly start like improving. Chad, I agree. It would be hilarious if today of all days Mortis isn't around. Yeah, he might be shy. He might be hiding. But whatever, like someone else will benefit from this advice, I'm sure. Plus, a lot of the time, just putting out positive vibes to someone, like we all love Mortis to bits and we want him to succeed. He doesn't need to hear that for it to have an effect. That might sound like a weird thing to say, but someone somewhere will improve his life in some way just because we cared. Like maybe one of you will send him a message the next time you see him and be like, bro, I believe in you. You got this. Like sitting together and having positive thoughts about someone inspires some of us to go and do something that would actually help him. So yeah, even if he's not here, this is still beneficial us. It's like, you know, when you talk about someone behind their back and you say something negative, like gossiping about someone behind their back, that often comes back to that person. They find out about it somehow, and that negatively affects them. We're gossiping in a positive way, And that will probably come around to him eventually. And he'll go, wow, really? You all sat around talking about me, caring about me? Huh. That's really nice. Okay. Maybe some people care about me. So, yeah, we're gossip whores here, just in a positive way. Chad asking Phoenix, what meetups are you doing? Board game night on the 27th and 29th. That's cool. That's dope. Amazing. You're putting together a presentation. Don't have a deadline for some marketing stuff. That's cool. Brilliant. Good. Love that. Framebite talking about women and friends. Yeah, it's cool. Yeah, I say this a lot, man. Like getting to know women and empathizing with them and just like learning who they are as people. And spoiler alert, women are exactly like men. They just have vagina and titties, but they're basically exactly the same as men. We're all humans. But either dating a lot of women and talking to them and getting to know them, or almost even better is just having a few female friends and really interacting with them and asking them questions. Like just ask women questions about shit. Like that's such a really, really helpful thing, not just for dating, but life in general, to realize that the opposite gender isn't so opposite. They're pretty much exactly the same. You're all making jokes about me being tied up. No, Emmy's not here. Emmy's practicing her shibari. No, she's not here. No, she gets back today. No, the reason I was late on today's stream is I was saying goodbye to my friend Tim. And so we chatted for like half an hour. So saying goodbye to him. Yeah, tell girls you're going to gossip. Invite girls for brunch or coffee and say we're going to gossip. They love that. Yeah, basically meeting women and having conversations. Just ask them questions. Like such a good way to improve your dating skills is like literally just sit down with some women or walk up to women on the street if you want to and just be like, yo, what's it like to be a woman? And they'll be like, I don't know. And you're like, no, come on. Like, I'll tell you what it's like to be a man, and you tell me what it's like to be a woman, and we'll like share notes with each other, and we're going to learn. And some of the stuff that you tell them, I can't tell you how many women I've had this conversation with where I'm like, yeah, being a man can be challenging sometimes. You feel really emotional and, you struggle. And they're like, wait, men feel emotional? And you're like, yeah, what the fuck are you talking? Of course we feel emotional. And they're like, wait, really? I thought men only had two emotions, like anger and horny. And you're like, no, like, wait, really? That's what you thought about men? And they're like, yeah. And so you have this really interesting conversation where their mind is blown. They're like, whoa, men are human. And then they'll have that conversation with you. And they'll say, like, if you say, are you ever insecure about something? And she'll go, oh my God, I'm insecure all the time. And you're like, but you're really hot. And she's like, what is that? I don't feel hot. I'm insecure about a lot of stuff. And your mind will be blown. You're like, whoa, women have feelings and insecurities and doubts and limiting beliefs and shit like that. So yeah, these are like really cool conversations to have with people. You're basically showing yourself that they're human. Right. Questions, questions, questions. Give me questions. Kiwi Farms. Oh my God. I'm scrolling through all of your comments. What do you think has happened to Andy? Place your bets. He's saying goodbye to his friend. But you all guessed Shibari. Nah, we don't really have a whole lot of sex in the morning. It's like 6:30 or 7 a.m. here. So no Shibari in the morning. If we were to have sex, it would certainly not be Shibari in the morning. Too sleepy. You have morning sex. You have cuddles and shit in the morning. Rishav, I'm not able to figure out what I can start on YouTube, something that helps me build a community. So, my brother, are you giving yourself permission to suck here? No, clearly not. I had no idea what blog I was going to do or what I was going to talk about. I just got started. And Rishav, my friend, do you want to know what the very first article I ever wrote was? I procrastinated for months, exactly like you are with this, because I was like, what am I going to talk about? Like, what will I cover? How could I possibly help people? I have to know what I'm going to talk about before I get started. Bullshit, wrong. And so, do you know what I eventually did? Do you know what the very first article I ever wrote for anything ever? This: give yourself permission to suck. I literally say this is the first article I've ever published on here, and there's a reason for that. At 9:37 p.m. today, I gave myself a challenge: write an article in 1 hour. And spoiler alert, I did do it in an hour. But I just said, all right, I've procrastinated. I had perfectionist thinking. I procrastinated writing this article or any article. I didn't know that this was going to be the topic. I literally didn't know what to write about. I just hit the stopwatch. I was like, all right, 1 hour, fuck, what am I going to say? And I panicked for about 10 minutes. And then I was like, what if I write an article about how I struggled to write an article and I haven't given myself permission to suck? And this came to me, like, I just wrote this article. So yeah, this was me basically saying, I'm sick of procrastinating. I'm sick of thinking that I have to be perfect. Maybe I'll just give myself permission to suck and I'll just write this article. I did the same thing with my photography. Like, I had procrastinated photography for so long and like really getting in there and doing a lot of it. I'd done some of it, but I would do like one photo every week or something. And so at some point I was just like, all right, today is day one of my 365-day project. Let's get started. And I did. I like literally started a 365-day project. This was like day one. And I think I even wrote in here. Yeah, I was like, I started a project today. I don't know if this is going to be great or hell, but like, what the fuck am I committing to? And then I did. I followed through and did one photo every day. And so, yeah, man, like, you're sitting there saying that you have to be perfect, that you have to know what you're going to talk about on YouTube. Why? Why don't you just talk about anything on YouTube? No one's going to watch it anyway. So even if it's shit, who cares? No one's really going to watch your first 50 or 100 videos. So hurry up and make 50 or 100 videos. It's a numbers game, bro. Get started. Same thing, Brandon, here. I want to make a music album. My question to you, if you haven't already started, is why have you not started? Like, have you fucked around in, I don't know what software you're going to use, like maybe Fruity FL Studio. What's the other one? I forget the other one. The one that like lots of creators use. I forget what it's called. Whatever. My brain isn't working. But mess around in the software. That's something else that I did. I had no idea how to make music. And so I just made music. I even, years ago, when I was like in high school or just out of high school, I did this. Right, get rid of all that shit. Get rid of that. This is me. I made an album back in 2011 called Hope in Dark Times. The songs aren't brilliant. They have like fucking no listens, like less than 1,000 listens each. But I made music and I didn't wait till I was perfect. And it's not perfect. Like, go and listen to that. You'll be like, oh, yeah, there's like something here, but this isn't like good music. But like, whatever. I made something. It's on Spotify. I am technically a published artist. Literally, I am technically a published artist. It is an album. It is literally an album of what, like 13 songs, lucky number 13. And so rather than sitting there thinking you have to be perfect, just start making music. And if you already have started making music, set a deadline, bro. Like, set a deadline and say, okay, 3 months from now, give yourself 3 months. That's so much time. You could do it in like 1 month. 3 months from now, I will release an album on Spotify. No one will listen to it. So that's good. Like, you don't have to worry about it being perfect, but just get started, man. Can I tell a girl I love her whenever I want? It feels like you can't say it in the beginning. You tell a story that you can't say it in the beginning. You can say whatever you want. You say it whenever you want. You say it on date one if you want. I tell people that I love them all the time. Brandon, I love you, and I don't even know you. I tell lots of people that I love them. I say it to girls all the time, like even on first dates sometimes. If it's a great first date, I'm like, man, I love you. You're amazing. It doesn't mean like I want something from her. It doesn't mean I need something. It means I have love for her. And so if this is easier for you to say, if you want to say this, you can say, I have love for you. I have so much love for you. Like, that's what you'd say about your male friends. You'd be like, I got so much love for my brother. I got so much love for my family. So you can say it like that, but say whatever you want, dude. Say whatever you want. The worst that happens is someone goes, hey, I'm not able to handle that, or that's not what I want. Cool, great. Then they leave. Like, nothing bad happens if you tell someone that you love them or that you have love for them. I love every person on this planet. Like, that is my literal mission, is to love every person on this planet, including Hitler, literally everyone. And so some people that I tell that to, yeah, they don't know how to handle that. Like, because they think I want something. They think I have some agenda if I tell them that I love them. And so sometimes I've learned the kindest thing I can do for someone is to have love in my heart for them, but not tell them. So you can do that. If you're ever uncertain, you don't have to tell the person out loud, I love you. You can love someone without telling them, Brandon. And that doesn't mean suppressing or holding it back, but I love basically, let's just say I love every person that I see on the street. Like literally, I will have a loving thought towards everyone that I see out on the street. I don't go up to them and tell them that I love them. Some of them might be scared. I've tried it. I've tried telling people that I don't know that I love them, and some of them get a little bit weirded out by that. Fair enough. Like it's unusual. So yeah, you can love people without telling them, or tell them that you love them. Nothing bad happens, bro. Like I promise. Brady hold. Hey, Andy, just doing laundry now. Amazing. Brilliant. Good job. That's your win. Imagine like this is my big win. And hey, for some people, like I know this isn't you, dude, but like for depressed people, just doing the laundry is a huge fucking win. So by the way, if any of you are depressed or something and you say, hey, all I could do today was the laundry, I will absolutely celebrate that with you. My girlfriend bought me a PS5 for Christmas. I haven't been a gamer for like 20 years. We're playing It Takes Two. Dude, Emmy and I played It Takes Two. We loved it. It was such a good couples game. Um, if no one knows what that game is, it's really cool. I won't spoil anything for Brady because he hasn't obviously finished it with his girlfriend, but it is like literally a couples game. I guess you could play it with your brothers, but like straight up, it is a couples game. Let me even show the trailer on the screen because, like, my God, we loved this game. And it's like, without spoiling anything too much, it's about a couple who are going through a divorce and they literally learn to work together. And it's like, it's really cool. I've muted it so the sound isn't annoying so you can still hear me talking. But like, yeah, it's like split screen co-op, and I played with a uh, fucking controller. She played with the mouse and keyboard, and like literally, it's about this couple going through a divorce, and you have to help each other. Like the entire way, the gameplay, the way that it works is you have to help each other. Like you might have to pull a lever while one person jumps and times it perfectly. It's really cute, and the characters are all really cool. The animation looks brilliant. It's just like a really cool, interesting game. And Brady, you don't know this yet, but like the plot gets a lot deeper. Like it's actually a really nice story. I won't spoil anything for you, brother, but it's just a really nice story. So loved playing that. On top of that, like what other games? I'm assuming you're asking me games that I play with Emmy rather than just games in general. I try and mostly play video games involving her because it's like a couples thing for us. So other things that we've really liked, anything that has like a really deep plot or interesting like ideas. So the Talos Principle and the DLC, and then the Talos Principle 2, and then the DLC for Talos Principle 2. Like all four of those, there's sort of four unique games there. These are mind blowing. These are some of my favorite ones ever. Um, Spiritfarer is probably like another one that I really, really, really love. This one is a game about death and embracing death and not seeing death as a bad thing. This hit me in the feels. Like Emmy and I cried like just nonstop playing this game. My God, highly recommend this game to like literally all of you. If there was one game that I said everyone on the planet would benefit from playing, it would be this game because the vast majority of people on the planet are terrified of death, terrified of dying. They see it as the worst thing ever. And when you're afraid of dying, it's really hard to live. So, yeah, Spiritfarer, Talos Principle. There's a lot of other games that I could recommend, but those are my first two because those are like games that are genuinely life changing. And I would rather play a game that's like genuinely life changing or like really, really, really improves my life in some way. I like my gaming and same as my YouTube consumption. I like it for the most part to be something that improves me, like self improvement. So I try and find like self improvement games or philosophy games. There's not a ton of those, but there's enough out there. Brandon, you say I've started already, as in started making music. Brilliant, amazing, good, cool. Why don't you share some of it with us? If we're gonna all sit here and call Mortis out and be like, and have done it too, Brandon, and I mean this in a good way. If we're all gonna sit here and be like, Mortis, share the polygons. Everybody, right now, how about we lovingly peer pressure Brandon into sharing some music? Like, bro, even just a beat. Like, you must have something. You must have like a 10-second drum loop or something, or like, I don't know, a fucking chord progression or something. You must have done something. Share it. I just shared my music with all of you, and it's not good. It's music I made when I was in high school, or like at the end of high school, maybe when I was like 18, 19. So, like, if I can share that shit, share it, brother. Like, share something with us. Give us a drum loop, man. Like, post it in the chat or email it to me, Andy@KillYourInnerLoser. Give us something, dude. We want to hear some songs from you, bro. We want to hear anything. Don't give us the good shit. Like, no pressure for you to give us the best thing that you have or something amazing. Just anything. I promise you, we will not judge it. We'll probably tell you that it's fucking good. If you made it, it's good. It doesn't matter if it's perfect or whatever. But yeah, let's all gently, lovingly peer pressure Brandon into sharing something. Even just a 10-second, 5-second drum loop, man. Something. Chad, in the MySpace area or era, I made metalcore. That's cool. Only with samples that were cut out of songs and the Microsoft voice singing the vocals. Dude, I did that too. When I was in high school, when I was like messing around with like Fruity Loops, which is now called like FL Studio, like you just make music in it. It's called a DAW, DAW. Um, yeah, I made songs and the lyrics. I would use that Microsoft Bob voice. Yeah. And it would be like, hello, I can't do the voice. It's like, hello, my name is Microsoft Bob. Yeah, I can't do it. But yeah, dude, like you're giving me nostalgia now. I don't think I have. Yeah, I don't have any like old music from back then. No, I don't have anything. Messing around in Fruity Loops. Oh, I remembered the name of the other thing I was trying to say. Ableton Live. I can't remember. I couldn't think of that. Ableton Live, Fruity Loops, FL Studio. People use GarageBand if they're going cheap. But yeah, share some stuff. Brandon Kola says, yo, what's good, my G? What's good? It's all good. Everything's good. Whether you think it's good or bad, thinking makes it so. So technically everything is good, or you could say nothing is good. So there you go. You probably weren't expecting an existential answer to such a simple fucking statement, were you? Brady, play A Way Out. All right, what is this A Way Out game? A Way Out is a 2018 cooperative action-adventure video games developed by Hazelight Studios and published by Electronic Arts. It is the second video game to be directed. I love like the start of Wikipedia articles because it tells you like nothing about it. And it sounds like something that the publisher would write. All right, so what's this game actually about? So it's kind of the same thing, like split screen co-op. Okay. You're helping each other. Yeah, I like stuff like that. It's quite rare because I guess it involves, it needs to, or it requires two people to play. Like that game that Brady is playing right now, It Takes Two. You literally can't play it single player. You literally need someone there. I think they have online multiplayer, so you could just find like random people to play with you. But that's already like a huge requirement. Like you're asking a lot of people, like you have to have someone to play this with. There are a lot of like single gamers out there who might not have someone to play with. Seven says, I watch lots of your content and blogs. I'm at the point where I have all the knowledge I need and don't have much to ask. You know what's funny is like basically all of you have all the knowledge that you need. Like, here's all you need. Give yourself permission to suck. Go take a little baby step every day and just don't quit. There you go. I told you all the information you need for any goal. But yeah, often we get caught up in like, no, but like I just need, like, give me one more bit of information because we're scared. We're like, I'm scared to take action. So can you just reassure me? Like most of what I do on this channel is just telling all of you like everything's going to be okay. Like that's most of what I'm doing. Like it'll be fine. You'll be fine. You'll figure it out. I promise you're not going to fucking die. If she rejects you, it's not even a rejection. You'll be fine. If you go to the gym and you feel like an idiot and you don't know what to do, that's okay. You'll just feel a bit silly. If you're nervous to go on a date and you're terrified, that's okay. The other person's probably just as scared as you. Everything's fine. If you want to start a business, it's okay. Just ask people for money. I promise they won't be mean to you. They'll either give you money or they won't. And they'll be nice when they say no. Like most of what I'm doing is just like a parent saying like, everything's okay. You can go play on the playground with the other kids and they won't bully you. And if they do, even that'll be okay. So yeah, man, like you say, you know, I just got to grind and keep doing photo shoots for my dating profile. I'd switch out the word grind and I would take away the word got to. Like when we say I got to grind, that sounds like a fucking chore, man. It sounds like you have this big mountain in front of you and it's going to be painful and suffering and I have to grind. You don't have to do anything. So there's nothing you got to do. And why does it have to be a grind? You can rephrase it as I get to. put a lot of effort and time into this and I'm excited, or I'm excited. You could even keep the word grind, because I know a lot of guys jerk off over the word grind, like that Sigma male grind. A lot of guys literally get off over the word grind, like it's sexy to men. It used to be to me too, like self-flagellation almost. So keep the word grind, but say, I'm excited to grind. There you go. Like you don't have to grind. You don't got to grind. And when we phrase it like that, it sounds like a chore. But so switch out the word got to for I'm excited to grind. Or man, I'm so fucking happy that I get to grind. Wow, I'm allowed to grind. I can't wait. Dude, I love grinding. There you go. Now it's fun. Like you'll do more of it. I tell you this because you will literally take more action. If you say, I'm so excited to grind, bro. This is going to be so fun, so rewarding. Man, I love this. It's so exciting. You literally take 10 times more action versus if you say, I got to grind, because you're making it a chore when you say, I got to grind. Obvious Throwaway says, sandpaper male grind set. Yep. 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 Literally, you make your goals feel like a sandpaper grind. Like literally, it's painful. Like, and that's how a lot of people embrace their goals, man. Like they really do. They're just like, all right, I got to grind on this. It's going to hurt. It's going to suck. You know, iron will mindset. I have to just fucking power through and suffer. And it's like, well, you can suffer if you want to, but I'll be over here enjoying every part of the process and taking 10 times more action than you. Not that it's a competition, but I'll be taking 10 times more action than you because I let myself have fun with it. And if it's fun, you'll take 10 times more action because, like, why wouldn't you? So, yeah, cool conversation. Expert cheek clapper. My friend, is this a serious question? Did you ask me and us a serious question? Are you feeling okay, my brother? Let me sit up. Oh, let me adjust myself. Let me get in the perfect. We're gonna have to take this one seriously, boys and girls. Oh, this does not happen. Well, let me adjust my pants. Okay, here we go. All right. How do I get over the fear of having sex without a condom? Like anything else, exposure therapy. Actually, why am I answering this question? You know what would actually help you? The actual literal chapter from the Play to Win video course. So this is one of those questions that it's like, I'm not going to answer this because I already wrote a better answer than anything I could say right now. So I'm pretty sure you have a copy of the Play to Win video course. Go into the chapter that is literally about fear. Literally, there's a whole chapter on fear, dude. Overcoming fear. Go into that. This chapter here. I have a whole bunch of strategies, like literally, I have a whole bunch of strategies of how to deal with fear, how to move through it, all of that. So pause the live stream if you want. You can read through that, but you probably have a copy already. Give yourself permission to suck, run towards the fear, like, embrace it, take baby steps with it. Get other people to reassure you, which is probably what you're getting me to do. I promise everything will be okay if you have sex without a condom. I would generally only do that with someone that you trust. And since I'm assuming you haven't had a vasectomy, you don't have birth control, blah, 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 I would only do this with a partner that you trust. That's me personally. I would only do it if I hadn't had a vasectomy. I would only do it with someone that I'm dating. I wouldn't just be not using a condom. And even to this day, I wear condoms with any new partners until we've seen each other enough times and we have a conversation about like safety and cleanliness and all of that. And they get STD checked, and so do I, and so does Emmy. And if we're all only seeing each other, then maybe we'll go without condoms. So we don't wear condom. I don't wear condoms with Emmy, and we don't wear condoms with Bronwyn because she's only seeing us, and we are at the moment only seeing her. And we all got STD checked and all of that. So just follow the safety precautions. But I'm assuming you're doing all of that. And so this is one of those things where it's like the fear will slowly go away with baby steps. So yeah, go check out the Play to Win video course. Like I said, there's like fucking 20 slides on that. Yeah, that might be one of my biggest chapters. It is. Yeah. Dude, that's the biggest chapter in the Play to Win video course, actually, now that I'm looking at it. Yeah, it's like 23 pages long. That is the biggest chapter in the Play to Win video course, is how do I overcome fear. So go check that out. Random idea. A video series where you and Cam review the dating profiles that your viewers send. I don't know. That shit just doesn't excite me. Like great idea. Dude, this is such a great suggestion. And if you gave this to another content creator, like another dating coach, they'd be like, hell yeah, this is amazing. I just don't really care about this anymore. Like I will help people with this in the coaching program, and then I get really passionate about it. But this is just the thing I care the least about because I wrote so much in the Tinder profile. I did that to death, like in the Tinder guide. Sorry, I did that to death. And I have done so many videos talking about how to take better pictures, why your pictures suck, what to do, what to work on. I just don't care, man. Like, this is just not something that I'm passionate about. So, brilliant idea, really good idea. I just don't want to. And that's an interesting thing that happens as a content creator. Sometimes there's like content that would help the channel, and like doing this content. Yes, this is the stuff you guys and girls care about the most. Any video that I do about dating and the start of the dating process, like having sex, going on dates, Tinder, approaching people in person, those are the videos that do the best. I just don't give a fuck about that stuff as much anymore. Like, everything I could possibly think to say on that, I've already said, and now I'm just repeating myself. Like, any videos I do now, like, what more can I possibly say about how to walk up to women and approach them? What more can I say about dating? What more can I say about Tinder profiles and Hinge profiles? I've said it all to death for like 5 years. And so, as a content creator, you have some choices to make sometimes. Do I do the content that will do really well? Because that stuff gets like 3 to 5 times the views of my other content. But if I'm doing stuff that I am not really passionate about, what am I putting out into the world then? I'm putting out stuff that I don't really want to talk about and that doesn't excite me. And do people really want content that you're not passionate and excited about? There's plenty of that out there in the world already. So, yeah, I have chosen consciously to cover that stuff sometimes. Like, I will answer that stuff sometimes. I'll still do it from time to time, of course. And if any of you ask these questions in the live streams, or if someone pays me for coaching, then yeah, I will happily answer the questions. Like, of course I will. But it's not exciting to me. I like to go with what's exciting. And right now, what's exciting is talking about business, talking about long-term relationships, talking about peace, love, maybe a bit of enlightenment and Buddhism and shit in there, talking about happiness, like reducing people's suffering, like stuff like that is the questions and the stuff I really care about. So yeah, if you pay, all of that said, if any of you want me to review your dating profiles, pay me $200 for one of those like coaching calls. And I happily do that. Lots of people do that. They're like, hey man, I'm going to throw you $200. Let's sit down for a couple of hours and talk about my profile. Fuck yeah, let's do it. Or come to the coaching group and I'll do that for 12 weeks. And so will the other coaches. But for doing it on my channel, it's not exciting to me. Nothing wrong with it. It's just not exciting to me personally. You go on to say, nice to see a lot of regular commenters here, by the way. Yeah. There's a lot more of a turnout than I thought there would be. When I first started doing these live streams, I had no idea if anyone would come. But I was like, yeah, but there'll be some lonely people out there over Christmas. And if I can be there for 1 or 2, maybe 3 people, I'll be happy. If there's 1 or 2 or 3 less lonely people over Christmas, that's all I care about. I really didn't expect this many people would come this regularly. There's some of you that have come since day one, my OGs, and I appreciate all of you. And even you 7 have been a few times, so I appreciate that too. Brandon says, I don't have beats yet, just song text, and it's in German. Type it in the chat. Yeah, type it in the fucking chat. Type it in the 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 chat. Also, Diane coming up with like absolutely thinking outside the box answers here. Holy frick, Diane. This is like not something that ever even entered my head. So, how do you work with your fears of getting someone pregnant? Just date people that are past menopause. Literally outside the box. You get a 10 out of 10 gold star for thinking very creatively. You could also say women who have had like fallopian, what's it called? Like fallopian cancer? I don't know what you call it. Like uterine cancer. So they've had their like uterus removed so they can't get pregnant. There you go. Here's another one. Okay, while we're thinking outside the box, Diane, you started this. Why don't you just hook up with pregnant women? Because you can't get pregnant twice. There you go. Why don't you just have anal sex? Only ever have anal sex. Or only ever have oral. Why can I not say that? Or become gay. Why don't you just have gay sex or bisexual sex expert, cheek clapper? There you go. Yeah, good thinking, Diane. Yeah, these are really creative. Does anyone else have any really creative suggestions? Really like insane, out there, wild, nutty suggestions? Diane says infertile. Yeah, I didn't even think of that. Good job. Yep. Vasectomy. Yeah, but that's like an obvious one. Like I have a vasectomy. That's not that wild. We're talking wild. Your idea was fucking wild. Your first one. Date like postmenopausal women or pregnant women. Yeah, great. Pregnant women. Yep. There you go. We got to have wild answers. I guess even the anal sex one is not that wild. Become gay. Like that's a wild one. You're never going to get a guy pregnant. At least I don't think you can. My current understanding of male biology. Yeah. Any other wild ideas? Expert sheet clapper. Thanks, Andy. I'm inviting a few guys tomorrow. Baby steps, right? Well, a few guys is a lot. That's not baby steps, but I say this all the time. I respect any of you. I will encourage all of you to take massive leaps forward. You don't have to only do baby steps. And so if you're looking to have a big, 15-person orgy with a bunch of men so that none of you can get pregnant, yeah, good. Okay, Rishabh. No, that's not bad. That's not a bad suggestion. Yeah, use your hand. You can never get anyone pregnant. How do you not lose? You don't play the game. It's like that. What's that movie? It was War Games, I think it's called, a movie from the 70s, and they're like the only way to win is to not play the game. The only way to not lose is to not play the game. So there you go. There you go. Radical improvements. Cam, my brother, while you're here, also, I thought you said you weren't coming to the stream today. While you're here, can you please help us, man? Expert Cheat Clapper said, I'm worried about getting a girl pregnant. And so we're coming up with creative ways to make that happen. Diane suggested only date postmenopausal women. I said only sleep with pregnant women or sleep with women that have had like uterine cancer. So they've had their uterus removed. If you got any other wild ideas, Expert Cheat Clapper suggested, well, I suggested it, having sex with men because you can't get men pregnant. Rishav said use your hand. That's actually not a bad suggestion. It's not really sex though, Rishav. It's more like foreplay. It's like, any of you think about this, the next time you go to jerk off, you are literally seducing yourself. Like, think about that. You're having a little me time. Anyway, obvious throwaway says, to get back to the original question, what do you mean? This is the original question. How do I not get someone pregnant? Is having sex with men the right way? We're doing, excuse me, obvious throwaway. We're doing a really important like community. We're rallying together as a community to help expert Cheat Clapper here. He has a big fear of pregnancy and I guess STDs, which we've just ignored the STD part of the question. And we're coming out with really good suggestions, man. Okay. Use a strap on, Brandon. Yeah. No, that's not a bad suggestion. Yeah. You can't get a girl pregnant if she's the one fucking you. These are pretty good. These are actually really good suggestions. You guys should be coaches. You guys and girls should just be coaches. Like, this is the kind of out of the box thinking that can really help you help other people. Like, I appreciate all of you. Anyway, obvious story away. You asked an actual serious question somewhere, and now I've lost it. Where the hell is your question? Okay, here we go. The original question. Have you ever been consistent with PE, which is penis enhancement? No. I was for like a little while, 3 months, but no, it was just a lot of work and I wasn't really that into it. And at some point I was like, look, my penis is slightly above average length. So that's like good enough for me. Yes, my ego would love a giant, massive penis. So I can be like, look how big my pee-pee is. And nothing against people who want that. But I realized I was literally only doing it for ego reasons. And so I was like, look, if I care about my partners having a good experience, which is why I thought I wanted a big dick in the first place, I was like, what if I just get really good at foreplay? What if I get really good at seduction? Like I guess that's foreplay, isn't it? What if I get really good at pleasuring someone? What if I buy a bunch of sex toys and ask them what they want? What if I learn how to ask women what they want and then try and give each woman that experience? What if I learn tantra and slow it down and put on some soft music and get some massage oils and make a whole experience of sex? Like, I cared about all of that stuff a lot more, or that brought me a lot more joy. So all of that said, if you care about making your PP really big, great, do it. That sounds fun. You say it can take 3 months for permanent results. So everything I read and researched and everything Good Looking Loser said, who was kind of an expert on it, said no, it's more like it takes 2 years of being pretty consistent. 3 months, no. You'll get temporary gains, but your mileage might vary, dude. But my understanding and the reason why I stopped it was I was pretty consistent for 3 to 6 months and just I got temporary. My penis was temporarily thicker and longer, but like the tiniest bit. Like, we're talking like half an inch longer. And at some point I was just like, wait, like no one except me can tell this. But if I get 10 times better at kink and 10 times better at foreplay. Everyone can tell that. So I just found, for me personally, with penis enhancement, it's like I was only going to make my penis, what, 10 to 15% bigger in total, maybe 20% at a stretch, pun intended. Whereas foreplay, I can be literally 100 times better, like literally 100 times better. So all of that said, I know this is something, or you're saying this is something that's important to you. Have fun with it, man. I would just work on the other stuff as well. The reason you probably want a big PP is so that you can be an interesting, great partner, right? And so I'd work on that. Like I'd work on that. Like, how do I be a better partner? Foreplay, it might be a bigger penis. There'll be a lot of different aspects. I guess I'm saying don't put all your eggs in one basket. Don't only get a big penis and be like, this will make me a god at sex. No, it'll just mean you have a good penis, but you might need to know how to use it. Brandon says, I'm black. You are. I can literally verify that. And I don't know if you still do, but you had dreadlocks and they looked really fucking cool. I am black in a white area. Isn't that how chess is played? I actually don't know chess. Don't you put the pieces on the opposite? Fucking hell, I'm showing my chess ignorance here. Don't you put the black pieces on the white squares? Or am I just wrong in that? Okay, sometimes the black pieces can be on the white squares. So, Brandon, you're like chess. You're like a chess piece. You're a black piece on a white square. I've just amused myself there, everybody. You say AFD doesn't want me. What does that mean? Cameroon. What's AFD? Cameroon. Well, that's a country. I know that. So I don't want to complain. What the fuck is AFD? Australian Forces of Defense. What is AFD, man? I don't know what that means. Cameroon has civil war. That's a country. It's also the name of my friend and fellow coach, Cameroon. I don't want to complain. I feel like a hypocrite selling himself as a German. Why do you have to be anything? Why can't you just be Brandon? And this is the funny things about labels. We think that labels help us, and sometimes they do, like labels of nationality or color. Like, why do you have to say I'm black? You can if you want to. Like, bro, use the label I'm black if you want to. But I like to use labels only for as long as they're actually benefiting me. And at the moment where they're not benefiting me, I drop them. And I've just found, by the way, most labels are pretty easy to drop and like benefit from dropping them, but that's a separate discussion. So if you don't feel like the label of German is helping you, then don't call yourself a German. You're Brandon. Just call yourself a Brandon. Like, why is Brandon not enough? Why is being the unique, beautiful human that you are not enough? Why do you have to define yourself by skin color or identity or nationality or any of that shit? You can if you want to, if it helps you, because it can help you relate to other people. Like, you meet a person who's from Germany and you go, oh shit, we speak the same language. So then use the label. I'm German. But in the moments where it's not helpful, fucking let it go. Or use a label that's one layer of abstraction out. So if being a German isn't helping you, zoom out a little bit and be like, I'm a human. And then you can relate to other people. Or I'm a man. And now you can relate to other men. Like, pick the label that helps you fit in with the people that you're trying to like connect with, if that makes sense. And if you're somewhere where a label is not helping you, like your original question was, I'm black in a white area. Why are you defining it as like me versus them? Why is it black versus white? What if you zoom out one level and go, like, whatever country you're in right now? I think you're still in Germany, are you? You say, we're all German. Or zoom out and say, we're all fellow human beings. You'll hear me do this a lot, like with dating. I won't say, like, I'm a man and she's a woman. Sometimes I'll say that when it's helpful. But a lot of the time, I'll just say, like, we're both human beings. We're both just trying to do our best, because then it's easier to connect with someone. It's easier to connect with someone if you use the label that applies to both of you rather than a different label for each of you. It's really hard to connect if you go around saying, I'm black and you're white. Then people automatically go, oh, you're different to me. But if you say, hey, we're both humans, or we're both men, or we're both, I don't know, into Dungeons and Dragons or whatever, or we're both self-improvement people, now we can connect because we're both the same thing. So pick the labels. This is just like a general life fucking philosophy. If you go around picking the labels that relate to you and the person that you're talking to, man, everyone's your friend. But if you go around saying, I'm this and you're a different thing, then no one's your friend, or it's a lot harder to make friends. So yeah, I don't know if that helps, man. I know you weren't fully asking a question there, but yeah. Mr. Nathan, if this is a serious comment, which it might be, brother, I was at this point, I would not take pleasure in the sadness and hurting of others. An eye for an eye makes the world go blind. We can have a deeper conversation on this, but if other people have ghosted you, the answer is not ghosting other people, man. Why are you punishing one girl for the mistakes of others? I'll leave it with that. And this was an exact quote that was given to me because I went through a phase exactly like what you're going through. So, no judgment, brother. I went through this too. And someone said to me, because I took pleasure in ghosting a girl because I was like, well, girls have ghosted me. So, fuck you. I'm going to ghost them. And someone said to me, why are you punishing this one woman for the mistakes of other people? And I was like, well, because girls ghost. And he was like, no, why are you punishing this one girl? So again, we just had a big conversation about labels. And if you call women different from you, then it's very easy to psychologically torture them and be unkind. But if you call them humans like you, then the conscience kicks in, doesn't it? And then you're like, oh shit, I hurt my fellow human being. You think you beat a girl? No, you hurt a fellow human being. And I'm telling you, man, an eye for an eye makes the whole world go blind. It's not the way to peace, brother. And no judgment, because I was there too, man, for a long time. Like Diane said, why do you enjoy ghosting? Like, did she do this? In which case, lashing out at the person who did this to you won't make you feel better, man. And if it wasn't her that ghosted you, if someone else did, well, now you're just punishing an innocent human being for what someone else did to you. So, yeah, the way to peace is to rise above it. And Diane has even been tempted a couple of days ago. She was tempted. She's like, the person I'm dating did something to me, or I think they did something to me. I'm tempted to do it to them. And like I said, I've been in the same situation. We're all humans, man. It's like the first thing that your brain thinks. If someone hurts you or a group of people hurt you, your next thought is like, I should get one over on them. I should get revenge. Like one of the most popular subreddits is like, I believe it's just called like petty revenge on Reddit, like r/petty revenge. Yeah, petty revenge. 4.6 million subscribers to that subreddit. Stop and think about that. There are 4.6 million people who cared enough about revenge and hurting other people just because they were hurt themselves that they hit the subscribe button. I don't know how many people are reading it but not subscribed. Probably like 10 times that much, 100 times that much. So, like, one of the most popular subreddits on Reddit is how to hurt other people because you're hurt. And I'm telling you, like, hurting other people is not the answer. Rising above it, moving away from the people that hurt you, and going and finding the kind hearted people is the answer. And if we go around hurting other people, if we go around saying, well, people screwed me, people ghosted me, so I should do it back, all of the kind-hearted people, and there are a lot of kind-hearted women, they will run the fuck away from you. If I say to any of the kind, amazing, sexy, cool, interesting women that I have dated or am currently dating, like if I ask Emmy, how would you feel about a guy if you found out that he had ghosted other people and enjoyed it? She'd be like, fuck that, I'm out. No, that's a deal breaker. If I ask Bronwyn, the girl that we've been dating for 2 years, how would you feel about someone bragging about about ghosting someone else? She'd be like, no, deal breaker, red flag, red flag. And so any of the kind-hearted, wonderful, amazing people that I've dated and shared all these wild, crazy, kinky, kick-ass adventures with, they would run the fuck away from that. And so when I was doing this stuff, because I went through a period of doing this where I would ghost people just because I'd been ghosted, I took pleasure in like fucking women over just because I felt like other women had fucked me over. All of the quote good girls, there's got to be a better phrasing for it than that, but all of the like good girls ran the fuck away from me. Why the hell would they go anywhere near me? Why on earth would they want to spend time with me when they don't have to? And so you think that you're winning, but you're actually just sabotaging yourself without realizing it. Like, we're innocent in this. You're innocent in this, brother. You're someone that's hurt and you're lashing out at others. What could be more human than that? But that is not the way to peace, brother. That's not the way to a happy life for you, and definitely not for any of them, but not even for you. David Santos says, hello, Andy. Hello, everyone. Well, hello to you too. How you doing? Obvious Throwaway sends hugs and paracetamol to Cam to Radical Improvements because he's a little hungover. Yeah. Obvious Throwaway, you say, I'm looking into it for periones. So if no one knows what that is, it just means your penis is a little curved, can be curved to the side, curved up, curved down. Yeah. So my understanding, and I do not know a lot. I just read a lot of articles because I went down a rabbit hole years ago. I found this really interesting. I didn't even know guys had curved dicks. I literally didn't know that was a thing. And so I went down this rabbit hole. My understanding is these like penis enhancement things do work. If you're going to fix your periones, you probably want the Phalocin Forte, the one that like stretches it, like pulls on it. And you probably want to use that for as many hours a day as you can without irritating or hurting your penis. I would go to a doctor if you haven't already, though. Like even just for one consultation and be like, yo, have you worked with anyone on this? I'd find a doctor who's like done this stuff and just get like some tips or something. You don't have to keep seeing them, but just see them once. Like, but yeah, bro, like my understanding is that it can help for that stuff. Yeah. Nathan, yeah, man, I've been exactly where you are right here. You said this girl didn't ghost me, but I distrust women because they all have bad intentions towards me. I know what that feels like, man. I was there for a long time. At some point, you'll realize that women are just human beings. Some of them have bad intentions towards you. Some of them have no intentions towards you. They're just neutral. They're just going with the flow. They're chill. And some of them want the best for you. I can tell you an example of one right now. And I bet without even scrolling to what she might have replied to you, I can just ask a question and maybe you can answer. Diane, do you have positive intentions towards Nathan? Would you like to help Nathan move away from this distrust of women? Would you like, as a woman, you're qualified. Diane, would you like Nathan to be happy? And would you like him to be happy with the women that he's with? And would you like him to be vulnerable and learn to trust the women? Like, do you have bad intentions towards Nathan? Or do you have good intentions towards Nathan? If you don't mind answering, Diane, just answer that simple question. Simple question. Because Nathan, you have a story here. Yes, Diane, you specifically. Do you want Nathan to be happy? Or do you want Nathan to be sad and used? Like, would you like to add to Nathan's life, even just fucking in the next 2 minutes of talking in this conversation? Do you want Nathan to be happy or do you want him to be sad? Are your intentions positive or negative towards Nathan? Without even dating him, you're not going to do anything with him, but do you just want him to be happy or do you want him to be sad? Because Nathan, you wrote a story here that we're going to start playing around with, my brother. You said, all women have bad intentions towards me. First of all, that's patently untrue. All women don't know you. And there are lots of women out there that have good intentions. If Emmy was to meet you, she would want the best for you. Bronwyn, the girl that we've been dating for 2 years, would want you to be happy. My mother would want you to be very happy. Mother Teresa, if she was still alive, would want you to know that you are loved and that you are okay. Nick Vujicic, one of my favorite people, the man born without arms and legs, his wife, Kanye, would want you to be happy and she would do whatever she could to help you with that. Like, these people would, even Diane, who is literally like in this comment, very honest and open and literally saying, man, I'm feeling my own shit, Nathan. Like, I don't like guys that are closed minded and punish women for their ex's behavior. Like, she's feeling a lot of judgment towards you. Literally, look at the next fucking sentence that she says. I'm sorry that happened to him. I wish him happiness, of course. So, someone that is literally not happy with you still wants you to be happy. Think about that. This is a woman. This is literally a woman who right now is probably pretty fucking annoyed at what you wrote. She's pretty honest about that. She could have just said what I wanted her to say or what she thought I wanted her to say, but she was honest about it. And yet she still said, I wish you happiness. There are so many women out there that will say that to you. They'll be like, wow, this guy is like judgmental, like fucking hell. Like, I don't want anything to do with this guy, but I wish him well. There are lots of women. So you're literally trying to hurt women and push them away. And still, some of these women will say, I want you to be happy. As Diane says, it's always hurt people. Hurt people. Yeah, I love that. I've never heard it said like that. That's brilliant. I've only heard the Carl Jung quote, which is like, happy people don't hurt others. Generally, it is the tortured that become the torturers. And so, Nathan, you have a real opportunity here to be, as Gandhi said, the change that you want to see in the world. You have an opportunity to say, all right, some women have ghosted me, but why do I want to perpetuate that? Like, why do I want there to be more misery in the world? And if I'm miserable, why can't I add to a world and make it a little happier? You can do as Nick Vujicic, the man without arms and legs, said, If you're sitting around saying, I wish there was a miracle, which Nathan is basically what you're saying. You're saying, I wish women would just be nice to me. I'm praying for a miracle. Like, why can't women just like show me good intentions? Instead of sitting around praying for a miracle, what if you just be that miracle? And it would be a miracle. It's very possible, but it would be a miracle if you, a person who's in a lot of pain, decided to be better. That would be a miracle, a beautiful miracle, and you're capable of it, brother. You've got all of us here believing in you. Imagine if you went out there and said, all right, a lot of women have ghosted me, and that hurts, and I really don't like it. But I am going to be the underdog of the year. I'm going to do some amazing fucking Gandhi stuff right here, right now. I'm going to just be Mother Teresa. I'm going to go around and be nice to these women. And what you will find when you do that is, yes, every now and then you'll meet a person who has some negative intentions towards you. Great. But you won't stand for that anymore because you'll say, I'm better than this. I don't ghost people anymore. So why the fuck would I put up with some woman ghosting me or like being mean to me? I am above this now. I have set higher standards for myself, and I will not settle or put up with someone who would use me. I'm better than that. And you will start demanding a better class of person because you have become a better class of person. And you will then attract a better class of person because you're not down there in the mud rolling around with the fucking animals and being an animal yourself, ghosting people and hurting people and all of that. You'll say, I'm better than this. I don't do this shit anymore. I did it for a while because I was hurt. And again, nothing but love and compassion for you. I was there. I did this shit. Like, I'm speaking to my past self. But you will demand a better class of person because you will be a better class of person. And then you will find you attract some women who are nice to you and have no bad intentions towards you and just want you to be happy. Even freaking Diane here, who's annoyed at you and doesn't like the way that you're behaving. Fair enough. That's how most people would react, by the way. She still literally said, I wish him happiness. I am sorry that happened to him. She has love and compassion for you when she's pissed off at you. I mean, fuck, man, if that's not a miracle right there, I don't know what's going to be a miracle for you, dude. So be better than this, bro. You're better than this, or we wouldn't be having this conversation. I'd just be like, oh, yeah, fuck that guy. I'm going to block him and mute him and we'll never talk to him again. You're better than this, dude. I think part of you knows that. You're just scared to take the first step. You're scared of being the one that's vulnerable because you're worried about being hurt. But the good news is, you don't really even have to be vulnerable. Just don't ghost women. Like, you don't even have to do anything, bro. If you don't want to sleep with someone anymore, use my article. I wrote an entire article about this to try and like combat ghosting because I understand the temptation of ghosting. So I literally wrote an article called How to Break Up or End Things Amicably with Women. Like, literally, just search my channel, search Kill Your Inner Loser for how to break up or end things amicably, and you'll find this article. And so if it's a girl you've only had sex with once or twice, there's a little copy paste message. Hey, I had fun, but I'm not really feeling it, or I'm not feeling the chemistry. I don't want to continue any further. I'm just not feeling the chemistry. It was nice meeting you. And here's a couple of screenshots of what happens when you send this. You know, hey, I had fun. Whoops, that didn't work, did it? I just broke my website. Hey, I had fun, but I'm not feeling it. I don't want to continue any further. It was cool meeting you. Hey, Andy, I totally understand. It was nice meeting you too. Like, it doesn't have to be a big deal. Hey, had fun, not feeling it, don't want to continue. Oh, good. It was great meeting you too. Smiley face. This one here. Hey, I had fun, but I don't want to continue any further. It was nice meeting you. You too. All the best. This one down here. Same thing. I kind of want to do it again, but I'm not really feeling it. She's like, nah, all good. Like, if you've only had sex once or twice, it's not a big deal. And then if you scroll down, what do you do if it's like a friends with benefits that you've been seeing quite casually, but for a while? Here's a few messages, and I even have some screenshots in there, you know? And then here's another one. And then down here, God, there's more. There's like lots of these. And then ones that are more serious relationships, what to do, how to go through the breakup. Like if you've been dating for a while, like 6 months or a year or a couple of years or whatever, like here's what to do. And I recommend doing this in person. Don't just text them, but blah, blah, blah. So I literally make it easy. You don't have to ghost. You can just copy paste what's in that template. Again, just go into killyourinnerloser.com and search for the word breakup. Just copy paste the template. And then if you don't want to see what they reply, which I promise they'll always reply something nice, like 9 times out of 10, they'll reply pretty nice. Sometimes they'll be hurt and they might lash out. but most of the time people will be nice. And if you really don't want to see what they reply, just block the phone number. You sent your message. You say, I don't want to do this anymore. I appreciate you. You're great. And then block. And you'll feel better. I promise you'll feel better. And at the end of the day, this is all about you, brother. It's very hard. I found it very hard to look at myself into my own eyes in the mirror when I was ghosting people. I definitely found it hard to lay my head down on the pillow and be proud of what I had done. And so you can play around with this a little bit. Go into the bathroom, and this might be very confronting for you, Nathan, and that's okay. Be gentle with this. Go look in the mirror, look into your own eyes, and say, I love you to yourself, and see how that feels. And I think some of this stuff will come up when you do that. You'll probably say, I love you, and then you'll probably feel guilt and shame and all of that. I've never heard anyone who was actually deeply peaceful and happy that they were ghosting. Like, I've never found anyone. They pretend that they are. They pretend to take pleasure in it. And then when I say, go look into your own eyes in the mirror and be gentle and say, I love you, all this shit comes up. And they're like, wow, if I really loved myself, this isn't what I would be doing. Like, this ain't it, chief. So I know how it feels, man. Like, I've been there, believe me. None of us are judging you at all. But yeah, man, like, this is a lot easier if you're kind to people. You feel a lot better about what you're doing, and people will support you. Like, what do you think happens if you take pleasure in ghosting other people? Most women will not support you on that mission. Most men will not support you on that mission. Some will. There are plenty of men that will be like, yeah, fuck women, fuck those bitches. Like, yes, you'll find people like that. But most men in society will not agree with you hurting other people just because you've been hurt. They'll have compassion for you, but they won't support it. And so what you're going to find is you won't have a lot of cheerleaders or friends if you go around hurting other people. Like, people won't support that. And lots of them will try and sabotage you. And you'll have a harder time of things. Like, I wouldn't have you in my coaching group right now. Literally, straight up. You wouldn't be allowed in my coaching group. I would say, go away, go think about what I've said. I'd record you a voice message and give you a bit of free coaching and stuff. But I'd be like, you're not coming in the coaching group while you're hurting people. Like, fuck no. No, that's like the biggest deal breaker for the coaching group. Absolutely not. So, like, you see how many doors get closed, and you don't need my coaching. You'd be fine without it. But like, that door would be closed to you. I wouldn't let you in my coaching program. I wouldn't help you. There'll be lots of male friends that you talk to about this stuff, and you're like, bro, can you give me a pep talk to go out and talk to women? And they'll be like, fuck no, you're just going to ghost them. Like, there are lots of people that won't help you with your goals while you're doing stuff that hurts other people. Most people in society will not support someone else in that society hurting other people. They just won't. Like, they won't. But if you start doing things in a more honest and upfront way, and I get that you're scared of vulnerability and all of that, but if you just start by sending girls a message if you don't want to see them again, just a short message, copy paste my template like I showed in the article, then you'll find lots of people go, okay, this Nathan guy is being a bit more honest. I will support him. Like, if you just started doing that, I'd be like, yeah, man, you can come to the coaching group. It's okay that you distrust women. We'll work on that. But you're at least not taking pleasure in their suffering anymore or hurting them. You can come to the program and we would help you. People in the comments would help you. Diane would probably help you a lot more. And she's already been pretty nice to you, dude. But Diane, and yes, she's just some random person, but Diane, as an example, would help you a lot more if you're like, I'm hurt, but I'm at least sending messages to girls and telling them I don't want to see them anymore. She'd be like, okay, I'll give you more support. Lots of men here would give you way more support if they knew that you weren't ghosting people and taking pleasure in it. It's one thing to ghost someone. It's another thing to really take pleasure in that, like Schadenfreude, that German word for like taking pleasure in the suffering of others. And as Diane kind of said, yeah, we don't hurt people here. And if you are someone like Nathan, you're at this point, if you are someone that's hurting other people, we'll love and respect you and we'll try and help you towards a path that'll make you a little happier. But we're definitely, like, if it continues, if you were just like, no, you're all wrong, like, women are bitches, like, I'd block you, I'd mute you. You wouldn't be allowed here. This is a community, as Obvious Throwaway made a joke here. No disrespect allowed in our Christian Minecraft server. That's a meme. That's a joke, but like, we're not really Christians and we don't play Minecraft, but plenty of Christians in here anyway. It's kind of the same message. It's like, yeah, we're here to like add to the world. So yeah, exactly what Diane just said. I didn't even think of this. Really good example. Diane, I'm glad you're here. Yeah, Nathan, how would you feel if Diane wrote in the chat, I just ghosted a man. Haha, I really enjoyed that. Yeah, fuck this guy. Yeah. And then you say, why? And then she's like, well, because all men are assholes. So fuck this guy. I ghosted a guy. You'd probably get really hurt by that or frustrated. You'd be like, fuck this bitch. We should kick this chick out. Why is she allowed in here? She shouldn't be here. And so that's actually a fun little thought experiment I do sometimes where I'm like, how would I feel if someone was doing this behavior to me or to my gender or my race or whatever it might be? It's a really good thought experiment. So, yeah, all right. I feel like we've answered this to death. Nathan, we got love for you, my brother. Believe me, I know how it feels to be hurt and then hurt others. Oh my freaking God, man. I lived that way for years. It was a very painful way to live my life. And at some point, what actually broke me out of it was meeting this is like one woman. It was multiple women. There were lots of women that were nice, but one woman in particular. She was this shy, cute little Chinese girl called Yilin, and she was so unbelievably nice to me. And I was so convinced that she was trying to use me and get something from me and screw me over because all women are trying to screw me over. And we dated casually for a year and a half. And the entire time I was paranoid. I was like, she's going to steal something from me or get something from me or lie to me or try and get a relationship from me. She's just sleeping with me so she can get a relationship from me. I believed she was going to ghost me, use me. I was so convinced. I spent a year trying to figure out what she was doing, why she was using me. I didn't trust her for a year. And she was so loving and sweet. And eventually, after a year, she went back home to China to visit her family for like 3 months or whatever, or 2 months. And she sent me a postcard, and I didn't expect the postcard. And I look at the front of the postcard, and it's got her name on it and my name. And I was like, this is it. She's waited till now. She's now going to demand a relationship from me, or she's going to accuse me of something, or she's going to use me in some way. I didn't know what she was going to do, but I was like, this is it. This is it. I knew this was coming. Every woman eventually fucks you in some way. I knew it. And I remember standing there on this busy street in my city. I turn the card over. I'm so nervous. And it starts out like, Dear Andy, I'm having such a nice time in China. I'm seeing my family, and I just wanted to let you know that I really appreciate you. And all the time we've had together has been so beautiful. And I was like, oh my God, she's going to use me. She's going to demand something. And she's like, you make my life so much better. And I'm so glad we met. And I really like all the sex as well. And I can't wait to see you again when I come back. And I'll bring you a present. Ha ha ha. Anyway, thank you for being part of my life. And I hope you have a very nice Christmas and a happy new year. And I remember just standing there holding that postcard on this busy street, all these people walking past. And I was just like, I give up. I give up. Like, I give up my story. I let go of the story in that moment. I was like, I give up. Women are not all evil. They're not all bitches. They're not all going to fuck me over. I quit. I quit. And that was when I quit, like the red pill. Like literally in that moment, I was like, I'm done with the red pill. I'm done with all these people that say women are horrible and they can't be nice and they're trying to use you. Because I tried for like a year and a half to confirm my narrative that this woman is using me, that she's bad, that she's like trying to get something from me. And like the moment that I really thought it was all going to come to a head and she was going to tell me what she wanted from me, all she wrote was like compassion and love and like, I like you. Thank you for adding to my life. I can't wait to see you again. She never demanded anything from me. She never asked for a relationship. She never told me that she wanted to use me for something. She was just nice, like nonstop nice. And not just nice, but grateful for me. And so going through that was the freaking like needle that broke or the straw that broke the camel's back. I was like, I'm done. I'm done with saying that women can't be nice. And then from that moment, my dating life changed because I started trusting women. And then what do you think happens when you trust people? You bring in people that can be open and vulnerable with you. So the sex got 10,000 times better because I wasn't paranoid that they were going to use me. I was the one that was holding myself back the entire time before that. I just stopped getting in my own way. The sex got better. The relationships got better. It wasn't much longer after that I met Imi. And obviously that was a lot of vulnerability and honesty and everything we've built since then. Like that was literally, she was like the catalyst, or she was the changing of the guard, so to speak, between old Andy, who didn't really trust women and held back and would ghost them and feel pleasure in that and all of that. And then the new Andy that was just like, whatever, some women aren't going to be kind to me. Cool. I just won't spend time with them. I'm past that shit. And yeah, I got so much less drama after that moment because any woman who would try and use me or whatever I wanted to say, I'm not interested in that. Get out of here. And they would just leave. They wouldn't even be with me because I started being more honest. And people that are users or that are manipulating other people, they don't like honest people because they don't know what to do with upfront honesty. So they just run away already. So I just accidentally screened all the people out, like as Diane said, yeah, we're all a little scared of being used and abused. The answer then isn't to abuse and use other people before they use you, because then what happens is all the people who aren't interested in using or abusing other people, they see you as an abuser. You become the very thing that you sought to destroy. And anyone who isn't into games or drama or hurting people, they'll get the fuck away. They'll be like, no way, I'm not interested in this person because they're an abuser. They will literally call you the thing that you are calling other people because you are. You're literally being the very thing that you say you hate other people doing. So, yeah, there was a long journey for me for sure. And that's why I can understand. And I will never blame someone. There's so many women out there that feel like this towards men. They don't trust men. Men are going to use me and hurt me. There are so many women out there that are like, sorry, so many men out there that are like, women are going to use me and hurt me. It's just a very human fear. Like Diane said, we're kind of scared of being used and abused. This can make surrender so hard, but oh so rewarding. And the thing is, this is my favorite. So what you just said here, Diane, if I surrender, will I be used? You are surrendering your fears, but you do not surrender your boundaries. I want to make that really clear. So like if someone came to me and was lying and manipulating or being unkind, which happens. Like I run a YouTube channel. There's plenty of like unkind comments from time to time. If someone comes to me and is lying and deceptive or trying to make my life a little worse, which happens from time to time, I have some of the strongest boundaries you'll ever see ever. I'm just not interested. I'm just like immediately going to be like, hey, I've got nothing but love for you, but like, no, thank you. Or I'll block them or I'll mute them. Like I have the strongest boundaries ever, but I'm surrendering to the experience. I'm not saying it's a bad thing if someone tries to use me because I trust my own boundaries. The only reason we ever hurt other people or we struggle to let go is because we don't trust our own boundaries. We don't trust our own integrity. And so the answer is pretty obvious there. Learn how to be assertive and compassionate with that assertiveness. But like learn the skills of having boundaries. Learn how to be assertive. And there's so many books on this. Like this is like such an easy topic to improve too. So many people are like, but I don't know how to say no. It's like there's like 100 books on how to say no. Like there is literally a book with this title, with this literal title. When I say no, I feel guilty. There is literally a book. When I say no, I feel guilty. It's like one of my favorite assertiveness books. There is also No More Mr. Nice Guy, which even if you're a woman, this book is great. Like it's for men and women. So No More Mr. Nice Guy. And then maybe my favorite book, I Need Your Love, Is That True, is like a book on being assertive. Like Byron Katie, this sweet old grandmother, is one of the most kind, compassionate, letting go, surrendering people ever. Like she surrenders to everything, but she still has her own boundaries. She's very firm on her boundaries. Like she's amazing. Like if you watch YouTube videos with her or listen to her podcast, she does a podcast every week on Spotify. Just search for Byron Katie. She has some of the strongest boundaries you'll ever meet. No one's ever getting her to do something she doesn't want to do. But at the same time, she surrenders to life and she doesn't resist it. Another really good book is How I Found Freedom in an Unfree World. That talks about boundaries as well. This book right here, exact same thing. How to have boundaries, how to be assertive, but not like fight people and see them as the enemy. If you can see everyone as your friend, it's just that some of those people don't want the same thing that you want. It's easier to say no to people without guilt and all of that. Yeah, exactly, Diane. We all have this, as you said here, it's very self-aware about you. You said sometimes I have my own toxic aspects. Like when I get scared, I start thinking, how can I act to make this guy chase me? Like, which is manipulative. Yeah, we're just using the tools that we learned as kids. And a lot of us learn to manipulate as kids, me too. And so it's not bad. It's just not who we want to be as adults. Like we probably don't want, if I told you there's an easier way, all of you, if I told you there's an easier way for you to get what you want that doesn't involve any manipulation or guessing or having to mind read what the other person is thinking or trying to control other people, I've never heard a single person say, nah, I don't want to hear the easier way to get what I want. Like everybody is like, holy shit, tell me the method. And I'm like, all right, it's called no method at all. Just be honest. And they're like, I can't do that. And if I can get them past the part of saying I can't do that, which is baby steps, you just try little moments of honesty and little moments of vulnerability. You don't go all in at once. You'll freak yourself out and you'll probably have a traumatizing experience. You do tiny little bits of honesty and opening up and vulnerability and trusting people. And slowly you start to gain confidence and you start getting the things that you want instantly without having to play all these games for weeks or months. Like people spend weeks and months trying to get what they want when they could just go up to 5 people and ask each of them, do you want to give me this thing? Or do you want to share in this thing with me? And one out of those 5 people would say yes. You could have done that in like 10 minutes. Like if it's dating, you could go outside for 1 week and talk to like 5 women a day and just say you're pretty, are you single? Do you want to go for a coffee with me? And if you do that for 7 days, that's like what, 35 women. Yeah, one of them will go on a date with you. Maybe it takes 2 weeks if you're nervous and you don't know what you're doing. So for 2 weeks, in 2 weeks, you could have someone on a date with you. And that's when you suck at it and you don't know what you're doing and you're nervous and you're awkward and you're weird. That is way easier than like having a crush on someone for like months or years and waiting for the right time or waiting for them to give you a signal or I don't want to be weird and creepy so I got to wait till everything's perfect. It's like you could literally have a date 2 weeks from now if you just went and asked a bunch of people. Same with like BDSM and kink. It's like just ask everyone that you meet on a dating app, would you like to try BDSM and kink? Some of them will say yes. Now you've saved yourself years of searching for a partner who happens to be into it. So honesty is like an easier way of getting stuff. It's just that it comes with the perceived price of like fear. Like I have to pay the price of being afraid. This is so scary. But when you do it a couple of times, you're like, wait, this isn't scary. It was just a fear of the unknown. Like most of you don't know what will happen when you're honest. I tell you, beautiful things will happen 99% of the time. 1% of the time, someone won't like your honesty, but 99% of the time, people will appreciate your honesty and it will go amazing. But you don't believe me until you go and try it. So a lot of this stuff is you sort of trusting me on faith. You don't even have to trust me on faith, but you're just doing a lot of self-improvement based on faith. I even did a video on this. If you search Andy Wells faith, I talked about the power of faith in self-improvement because it was for me. Most of what I've done has just been blind faith. Like I hope that this will work out. I hope that this will get me what I want. See this video here, the power of having faith when it comes to self-improvement. So yeah, we're all scared. Like Diane said, we're all scared of being used and abused and things not being okay. We're scared of the unknown. It's like a very human thing. And then it's just like, are you brave enough to take a leap of faith? Also, every time I search for Andy Wells, I get these videos. There's like a little Christian dude. And I always laugh at this. We can make jokes about this, ladies and gentlemen. Come on. Not the Christian one. That's just like fine, whatever. But this video here, Cam shows me this video sometimes. It always makes me laugh. Always makes me laugh. This guy named Andy Wells, he tried to be straight and then he had to come out as a gay Christian minister. I respect that, brother. Living your truth, your gay truth. I respect that. Kind of looks like me, I guess, maybe. He's a white guy. He's a white guy. I guess he looks like me. Now I'm the racist one. But yeah, this guy's like the other semi-famous Andy Wells. There's also a voice actor from my old city. This dude looks like me. That's me. That's 100% me. He's got no freaking hair. Obvious throw away. You are halfway through Learned Optimism. Cool. I like that book a lot by Martin Seligman. He did the research on learned hopelessness back in the 70s and 80s. He did a bunch of like studies and stuff. Really interesting human. Really interesting book. He's written a couple of other books as well that are cool. Yeah, you say you feel like it could be mandatory reading for those who have a hard time starting with self-improvement. Yeah, I would actually recommend my article that I did called Hopeless and Helpless, like what to do if you feel hopeless and helpless. I'd actually recommend that maybe even more than the book or as a starting point to read before the book. So this article here, I'll show on the screen. I wrote this many years ago. Oh, I wrote this in April, right before the lockdowns. What a perfect timing that was. Damn, didn't even know it. What to do when you feel hopeless and helpless. And there's a bunch of like questions you can start asking yourself. And then there's this video here, which is amazing, from Healthy Gamer GG, one of my favorite people, about hopelessness and the topic of it. It's like a 1.5 hour interview with the dude, a bunch of links and stuff that can help as well. So yeah, that article really helps. I've given this to a lot of people, and they're like, damn, this helped me like start moving through some of my hopelessness. I mentioned the book, You Can't Afford the Luxury of a Negative Thought. Yeah, so I would start with that article, and then maybe that book, Learned Helplessness, or Learned Optimism, sorry. All right, I reckon we finish up. Comments and questions are starting to stop. I might have skipped one or two of your questions. Maybe I'll read this out. Rishav, for some reason, hearing you today, Andy, has been super therapeutic. That's cool. Sometimes you just need to hear a positive message a bunch of times, and then it clicks one day. It was like that for me. Like, that's why I used to brainwash myself into positivity intentionally. Like, because I'd brainwashed myself into negativity for my whole life. So I was like, damn, like, let me just watch a bunch of positive, optimistic content. I still do that to this day. I refuse to, or I choose not to. I don't refuse. I choose not to watch anything that makes me feel a little worse after I've consumed it, like anything that's angry or horror or sad or complaining or a lot of drama movies and stuff like that. I want to feel good at the end of it. And I've just found that that's like helpful for me. Obvious Strawaway says, are you using Unhook? Yes, I do. That video bug happens because you've disabled annotations checked. I don't know which video bug you mean. Which one? Which bug? If there is any bugs, I don't think it's a problem. If I don't even know what bug you're referring to, it can't be bothering me that much, right? If I'm like, what bug is this dude talking about? Expert cheek clapper, would you like to share this with us? You drew a cool alien shark during the stream. I can go to bed happy. Would you, maybe you don't have to do it right now, but would you mind emailing that to me if you're happy to share? Take a photo of it, send it to me, andy@killyourinaloser.com. I'll show it on tomorrow's stream. If you don't want to, that's fine. We'll all just peer pressure you into doing it, but we won't, brother. But yeah, I want to see a cool alien shark. Obvious throwaway, videos loading forever when they're embedded in a website. Disabled annotations. Wait, you reckon that's it? All right, I have turned that setting off. I probably won't even notice it. I honestly don't even notice shit loading really slow. My website loads really slow. I just don't care. But yeah, I turned it off. Let's have a look. I won't check it now, but I will let you know. Ask me tomorrow if you care, and I'll see. Framebite, do you have a positivity brainwash playlist for us, Andy? Do I? I covered this somewhere. I have a music playlist in the Play to Win video course. So it's not YouTube videos, but I specifically in the Play to Win video course had a section about like brainwashing yourself, like being more positive. Let me see if I can find it, man. Where would it be? In the gratitude section? No, it wouldn't be in there. Does anyone know? I put like a list of artists and songs and stuff like that somewhere in the map of consciousness section, surely. Yeah, here, I found it. Okay, I found it for you, brother. So it's not a playlist. Like I don't have like a YouTube playlist. Let me share it on the screen. So this is in the Play to Win video course in the chapter Map of Consciousness. I have like books you can read and stuff like that. And then I have a bunch of like artists that I like. Illo, yeah, obvious throwaway. Illo, oh my God, I even mentioned him here. I love his stuff. So a bunch of artists that have like made me a little bit more positive and I like their music. A bunch of other things you can do. So I don't quite have like a YouTube playlist, my man. Although I do believe I made myself a playlist just for me, which I'm not making it public, whatever. It's more for me. A bunch of just hilarious videos which make me laugh. So I have like 200 videos in here. This is more private. I don't think a lot of you would find these amazing. Like they're more stuff, memes and shit like that I really like. They're funny. We can watch some of them on stream at some point, maybe tomorrow if you want. Like they're just like little things that make me laugh. Something else, if you want to actual cheer up. Oh, wait, I just realized you couldn't see what was on the screen. Whatever. I have a YouTube playlist which has a bunch of funny things, which I'm going to keep that private. It's more for me. It's more personal stuff. But this channel here, just type in the Dodo on YouTube. You want a channel that'll make you feel fucking good about life. It's a bunch of animals and dogs and cats and birds and all sorts of animals that people make friends with. And so there's weird ones too. There's like birds that just fly into someone's house and they're injured, and then the bird just becomes best friends with the human. Look, rescued pigeon loves to take baths with the corgi. Like they're just cute little animal videos. Every single video I've ever watched on this channel, and I've watched probably like 1,000, makes me feel like really good afterwards. And so like literally there were moments. I don't really get sad anymore, like at all ever. But like when I used to get sad, I would go to the Dodo, and just watch videos and feel better. This channel as well, Discover Connection. This is like a great video for like feeling better about humanity and loving people and stuff like that. So that channel will, every video on there will cheer you up. Another one is Yes Theory, which is basically the same concept, like showing yourself and showing us that humans are lovely and they're nice, and you can just go to different countries and connect with people. They do all sorts of like approaching challenges, but they're usually approaching to make friends, not like to get girlfriends. But they show you how cold approaching works essentially. So that channel, those two channels are great. But yeah, tons of different stuff like that. So I don't really have a playlist, man. I'm not going to put one together, like I don't want to, but I would just Google like positive shit. There's tons of like positive content creators and stuff out there. It's really more just about like culling. Like I've found, rather than finding a bunch of great content creators, which helps, yes, it's half about finding really great playlists and content creators, and equal parts about removing the ones that are negative. Like it's both. It's removing the negativity or moving away from it and adding in some positivity. Bangley Russian, how has LSD helped you, Andy? I've answered this a million times, so I'll just give a really short answer. It's helped me a lot with counseling. I used it as counseling. I would go into every LSD trip. I haven't done LSD in like 5 years. I would go into it with the mindset of like, all right, how do I improve myself? How do I improve my mind? How do I learn to let go? Like I would use it as a counseling tool. I am not recommending LSD to any of you. Do your own research, blah, blah, blah. This is not an endorsement. It is up to you as an adult to figure out what psychoactive substances are for you, if any. You don't have to. But yeah, it was helpful in many, many, many ways. Yeah, you say my Insta feed is basically people are awesome. Yeah, something else that I like to do as well is look at like art, like follow a few art create. I just disable the news feed on all apps anyway, so I don't really have much of a feed. But if I was going to have a feed, or what I do manually, I manually go and find people on Instagram that are into art and photography and stuff like that, like making really beautiful stuff. Like the aesthetics of life, the natural beauty of life, like art, music, all of that stuff, like classical music and shit like that, can really help elevate you and lift your mindset up. And if you're not into that shit, fine, fair enough. But I'm into that stuff. I like that. All right, ladies, gentlemen, I reckon we finish up now. I'm getting a little tired. I appreciate all of you very much. You're all dope as hell. If there's anything we didn't cover, you got any extra questions or something, feel free to bring them tomorrow. Who is going to do what? Brandon, if you want to, feel free to email me, Andy at Kill Your Inner Loser, with some of your lyrics that you wrote. I don't care if they're in German, bro. I will ask ChatGPT to rewrite them into English for me. Expert Shit Clapper, if you want to, send this picture of a shark. Everybody else, keep going out there and being the best you that you can be. And if you struggle with that sometimes, that's okay. We all struggle from time to time. I'm not perfect. You're not perfect. The good news is that life doesn't require you to be perfect. It just requires you to try. And you're all trying pretty damn hard. And I can see that. Whatever your goals might be, whether that's money, relationships, sex and dating, fitness, health, friendships, whatever, we are here to help you make those beautiful goals come to life. Ed did it. Taylor did it. Harry did it. None of them are special. If you're listening to this, you know you're capable of more than you're currently giving.
You already want something more than what everybody else around you seems to be content with. You want to achieve more, be more, give more to the world. You know it, and I know it. You're destined for something beautiful. Click the link to the coaching in the description below, and let us help you get there. Happiness starts today.